video I really didn't want to make. This is my full breakdown, recap review of Star Trek Discovery, Season 2, Episode 1, Brother. Hello everyone, I am Mecha Random42, your favorite YouTube harpy, and oh my god. So I will give you a quick spoiler-free review of this episode. Warning, trigger warning, if you love Star Trek Discovery, I might piss you off. You might not want to watch my Star Trek Discovery footage. I'm brutal to it because it comes from a place of love. It comes from a place of wanting Star Trek to be good. I just want good Star Trek. I don't want whatever this is. You know, this is fine for, you know, if you like it, whatever. It's not Star Trek, though. So, I give this episode a 1 out of 10. I know what you're thinking. Why so low? You just hate on Discovery because you hate on Discovery. Well, the visual effects were bad and incoherent. The story was bad and incoherent. The story was insulting to Star Trek. It was poorly directed, poorly written. The best part about it was Anson Mount, who was playing Captain Pike, but he was given absolutely nothing to work with. And it was unintentionally hysterical in some places. It redefined Mary Sue. It brought so much what the fuck moments into Star Trek for me. And this is a series where I'm actively rooting for the people in the show to die. I don't want them to live. I want them to die horribly and painfully. And there are moments in here when one person gets injured and I'm laughing and cheering for them to be injured. And they're our hero. So yes, a 1 out of 10. This was so bad. It ripped off the Orville and Battlestar Galactica and Star Trek, and it did so many things wrong. And when I say ripped off Star Trek, I know, how can it rip off Star Trek? It is Star Trek. It can rip off Star Trek by recycling plots from bad Star Trek. It's recycling JJ movie plot points. And yeah, it's not Star Trek. It is a show that is clearly based on, hey, we have these visual effects and shots that we want to get, and the script is and the writing and actors and characters are just completely incidental. You know, they might as well be a uniform. They might as well be something, a prop. Like, seriously, your character might as well just be a prop. It is not a character. It is not anything more than to move the plot from A to B. It has no development, no arc. It might as well be the captain's chair. No, the captain's chair in Enterprise actually had quite a bit of character development. It squeaked funny when he got it replaced. And I don't think he ever did get it right. And that was like a reoccurring thing. He never quite got that captain's chair right once it got replaced, right? So you could even make a captain's chair the captain's chair in Enterprise is more interesting than the characters in Discovery. Fix your goddamn show if you're gonna make it that bad. I'm serious. I'm serious. I sometimes I enjoy ranting and ripping on these. I just wanted to stop. I'm like, you know, this isn't even fun anymore. It's almost to the point where it's just not fun kicking this show. So, you know, sometimes you can kick something and be like, oh my god, this is so stupid. I hate on this thing because it's so ridiculous and stupid. This is kind of not even fun at some points of this. And there was a couple of so stupid and so not fun to even make fun of, like, soul-crushing moments in this episode when I watched it live. And I will link my live reaction that did get demonetized. It did get copyright claimed. We are fighting that because it was a review. My live reaction, I did not use more than, 30 seconds of footage at any given time, I don't believe. And we didn't have volume on, and we didn't have, and it didn't stay continually for very long on screen. You would see like 1 or 2 seconds and then I would put it away. I will link that whole live stream in this video if you want to see the entire thing. Me watching it very live as it aired. Well, as I watched it, as I played it. Oh, let's get into this. Let's get into this review for the spoiler part. So, be forewarned, there will be spoilers if you care about these characters at all. I mean, I certainly don't anymore at this point. Like I said, I want to see them all die, and the sooner they die, the better, in my opinion. What do you guys think? Do you want them all dead? Because I kind of do. Let's get right into the full screenshot heavy. Oh boy. And we got some subtitles because I don't want to use actual footage because they're going to claim it. They're probably going to claim it with the screenshots. But you know what? We're going to fight that too. So here we go. We're going to put them, boom, right there. So we start with the recap of the season that desperately tries to skip over all the parts that of the season that made literally zero sense. You know, like the entire war and pretty much the entire season. You know, but hey, the war's over. We won. Ignore how we won, though, please. You know, Michael Burnham saying, the war is over. There were triumphs. And the crowd went wild. Yay. No. It's seriously, the recap was just so... It was so lame. It was so cheesy. I think they skipped over, like, all of the Klingon stuff. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. And, of course, the Dutch angle on the Klingon ship. Oh. It's bad. It's bad. So bad. So here we have little Mikey Spock here. She's orphaned, and it's our responsibility, says Sarek. Why wouldn't you just take her back to the human colony? Is it because that'd be too logical? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were a Vulcan and you liked logic. You know, it would be logical for human parents or the colony where she was, you know, maybe she has family on Earth. Maybe she's, you know, maybe she's somebody special. Maybe somebody wanted her and didn't want some filthy Vulcan alien hands all over her, right? Just saying, because you did force your Katra inside of her, you know? Stupid. Yeah, so why is it their responsibility? Seriously. So what happened to her parents, they say? The unthinkable, Sarek is asking, right? So Amanda's asking, what happened to her parents? So they got killed. It's bad. Getting killed is not good. It's never a good thing to get killed. You kind of want to avoid doing that. But it's not exactly unthinkable, is it? It's not like a bunch of clowns got out of a little clown car and came up and raped her parents and then killed them and then raped them again. And then, you know, in front of her. You know, they didn't do that. That's kind of unthinkable. You know, you don't want to think about that. And you don't want that mental image in your heads. You don't want to think about those hot, sweaty, floppy clown balls slapping against her parents' backsides. No, you don't want to think about that. You don't want to see that. That's kind of unthinkable. Oh god, this show, why is this show so bad? So this whole flashback is basically the day they adopted Michael Burnham, Sarek and Amanda. And it goes so slow, and it drags, and it's so pointless. And it feels so unending. And there's even this part, she's talking to Michael Burnham, and she's like, I bless you, Michael. But the crap are you? Are you Jesus or something all of a sudden? I mean... Are you a priest? I don't remember Amanda being a priest. Was she? She might be. I don't know. Why would she say that? That's such a weird thing. Is this part of that Christian stuff that they were trying to take out? Because I know that they had a lot of religious things in this that was going to be coming up. And somebody had, like, just a really bad reaction, and I think they cut it all out. I don't know. But yeah, that's such a weird line. I don't know. So this is Spock's room. This is little Spocky Jr. little a soy Spock the Cuck Light Jr. the in child form. Notice anything different and weird about his room on Vulcan? You know, never mind that it's probably the throne room from the Mirror Universe from Emperor Giorgio from season 1 redressed, or probably like part of the Klingon ship redressed, because it kind of looks like it would be the Klingon ship or part of that, because they had a lot of golds and things. Why are the skies blue, and why are there trees and forests on Vulcan? Have they never seen Star Trek? I mean, I know they've never seen Star Trek. I know they don't like Star Trek. But like, since when does Vulcan have blue skies and forests? Seriously, I've seen Vulcan before. Every time, it's always just rocks, terrain, sand. You know, it is kind of Tatooine, only redder. You know, it is very much a desert planet. That is why they have the inner eyelid to protect them from the sun. That is why they're green-blooded, I believe. That's why they're an alien species. Why? Why does it look like Toronto out the window? So little Spocky Jr. is in his room scribbling on a computer and ignoring Burnham. So good, amazing. How do his random scribbles become like this complex 3D monster thing? He didn't draw a picture in the computer that interpressed as this 3D object. He drew just random scribbles. He didn't even have like this outline of the thing. So he just draws random scribbles, and then he like throws them in the air, and it becomes this like giant dragon thing that I guess he's drawing his dreams or something. It's so weird. It's such a weird episode. But meanwhile, back in the present, we hear Pike and his science officer being over to the Discovery. And, of course, Michael Burnham's, like, assuming that the science officer is Spock, because we all know that Spock is on the Enterprise. And Captain Pike and his people are coming over from the Enterprise. So, why would Burnham assume that the science officer is Spock? Like, she just assumes that he's going to go over there and see them. And it's such a weird... everything is just so weird. He has an engineer and a science officer with him, so Captain Pike's bringing them all over. But what's even more weird is that why would Sarek assume that either? They're like, oh, I hadn't expected to see Spock again. You just assume Spock's like not busy or not saying, I don't want to deal with those people. I have things to do. I'm gonna go play chess or play the lute. I don't know. What does he do in his downtime? Paint? That was Data. No, he plays the lute and all that, whatever. So now we're finally getting into the intro. And the intro is still mostly just a showcase of props used in the show. I'd ask why they couldn't give us, regular Star Trek intro with the ship and maybe the cast, like all your names flying by. I don't even think they have many of those people. They have, 2 of them? But they can't even give us regular Star Trek, so why bother getting a real intro? Again. And of course, more fucking Dutch angles, and yes, they're still here, along with their close friend, Lens Flare. They still have that chubby for the Lens Flare in this series. They really had a chubby for Lens Flare last season, and God, I got so tired of it. And the Dutch angles, and his back, because we loved it so much. Frick. But hey, she said Spock was her foster brother. Apparently the script can figure out what's correct terminology, even though Alex Kurtzman can't. As you know, Alex Kurtzman has recently given an interview where he states that Michael Burnham is Spock's half-sister. Even though they're absolutely no relation, she was 7 years old when they met, and when his parents met her, when her natural parents died, both of them. She's not related to him in any way. Sarek is not a sperm donor. Amanda is not an egg donor. She's not related. Alex Kurtzman, take note of that. They are not half siblings. Oh, Lord. Now this is so weird. Why do so many people in the show have cybernetics and crap? So what's up with this transporter chief with Darth Vader's head and Geordi's visor? We keep seeing all these things. We have, the girl Kayla on the bridge with the thing over her eye. We have all these people in wheelchairs. It's so weird. Couldn't they fix some of this stuff in the future? I know Geordi's eyes were kind of like a birth thing, and he had some weird genetic thing. But having so many people with these cybernetic implants before the Borg, before it's really, really normal, it's just so off-putting. And it kind of makes me think, is this is this their diversity trend? Is this their year of diversity trending in the Federation? Because they have to have all of these, well, we have to have this abled and this thing and that whatever, and I don't know. It's kind of distracting when you see so many of them. So here's some weird script, really just bad writing here. So Pike invokes a directive. here to come and take over the ship. He wants to take over the ship. That he can only be used in 3 contingencies. One is an imminent threat. I'm trying to. I wrote everything down so I wouldn't forget. There's so much in this episode. I did write it all down. One of them is if there's an imminent threat. They don't know that this thing's a threat, by the way. So they're just going after these glowy dots. We detected a thing. We don't know anything about it. That's what they're going after. That's why they're trying to take the ship to go and find the thing that they don't know anything about. So one of the contingencies he's trying to take the ship from is... And so Saru was like, no, we can't just let anybody take over the ship. You have to pass these contingencies and we have to do all this. So they are kind of like aware that, maybe we shouldn't just let anybody take over our ship because we had Captain Lorca here and he wasn't even a Starfleet captain. So that's why they're kind of grilling him on this. So, the first thing he said isn't a thing. He can't take over the ship for the first reason. One of them, if a citizen of the Federation is in danger, again, they don't know there is a danger even, so we can't do that one. And one of them is if there is no one of captain rank or higher nearby to deal with the threat. And again, they don't know about a threat. There is no threat to know about. It's just a thing. It's just a weird thing. So basically, he's taking the ship on false pretenses. Got it. Now, so this is a nitpick. Again, with the lens flare chubby, they're just so hard for that lens flare. And look, hundreds and hundreds of feet of empty space for ships to just fly around in. You just have ships flying around inside of the Discovery now. Just inside the ship. The Discovery is mostly empty space now. Or do the visual effects team have no idea how big this ship is? They just want it to look like a movie. They want it to look like the JJ movies, which make no sense either. Oh boy, you don't have that much empty space. You have like these cutaways that show room by room, deck by deck of the Enterprise. They have them of the Enterprise D. They have them the Enterprise, of all of them, right? Because I know I've seen it of the D, Enterprise D specifically, where you can kind of zoom in and you can see, and you can even see it on some of the movies, probably Generations, I want to say, where you can see each deck in explosions. Why do we have all this empty space? Oh yeah, that's right, because they haven't designed the ship. They just have this vague idea of, oh yeah, it's like Star Wars. It's like Star Wars, right? So it's just like you can put anything. It's big, and this just really pisses me off. Like really, really, really pisses me off. Oh. So now they're talking about Pike having new uniforms now. They're doing this whole long hallway talk about just they're shooting the shit, right? But look at where all the Federation's money is going to the Discovery is what they're talking about in this hallway conversation. And they say, oh, well, we've got new uniforms. Yeah, you've got new uniforms, and they're only 25% different than the actual K-Jura uniforms that you're supposed to have. So close, but no cigar. 25% different of the Beatles is like minus John Lennon. You really have to stop and think. 25% different is a lot. Oh. Right, so here's where we get to some sciencey stuff. These light thingies are spread across more than 30,000 light years. I sure hope he means 3 times 30,000 light years based on the graphic they end up showing after these signals, which you'll see in a bit. Also, you detected these signals. These signals don't seem to be moons or stars. You detected these signals from thousands of light years away, and your science officer feels the need to explain that they aren't moons or stars. What sort of moron would consider that as a possibility? Like, it's a signal. Why would you think it's a moon or a star? It's a signal. Planets, moons, stars, they just fucking sit there and spin. They sit and spin. They literally sit and spin. That's all they do. They don't emit signals. They don't project things. People, things project. Who wrote this script? It's probably Alex fucking Kurtzman, isn't it? I know he directed this one. I wouldn't be surprised. Truth is, we can't detect anything about them. You just detected them, though! If you can't detect If you can't detect it, how do you know it exists? Knowing it exists, by definition, is detecting it. Oh, you're making my brain. They're just making my brain hurt. They keep making my brain hurt in these episodes. There's so many little things, and I could nitpick for days until the cows come home. But I want to give you guys a reasonable breakdown of this episode, and we're not even halfway through it. So, oh Lord, I believe it was a smile. Oh God, are they smiling? Who's smiling? He said you're smart. And now I believe it because you know the difference between a smile and a metaphor. This is the case of the writers needing to point out how smart Mikey Spock is. Because they have no idea how to just show it. We've got to throw in stupid little lines like this that stop the script, make no sense. He said you were smart, and now I believe it because you know the difference between a smile and a metaphor. This is so dumb. This is just so dumb. Please don't have a drinking game of every time I sigh. Please don't. You will die. I have to warn you, do not have a drinking game of any time I sigh, I roll my eyes, any of that. You'll probably die. So here's he said you were smart. It's to be Captain Pike. Yes. First, the smile was not only simplistic, it was a bad analogy to get altogether. And so why does Mikey Spock need to be such a cunt when somebody points it out? I hate it. I hate her. I hate her so much. Oh, man. Also, okay, here we go, here's the elevator scene. We've seen this from the trailer, and this is Discovery trying to be the Orville, because the Orville's funny, and they like the Orville, so we have to make it funny, right? Except the director has no idea how to be funny, no idea what to do with this scene. We have this random Saurian who's got like a cold or whatever for no reason. He just sneezes on the guy. And seriously, like, it's just bad. It's just so bad. We've already seen the sneeze. I just go find my I should probably link it, but I'm going to forget half of the videos I mentioned in this video. In any of my trailer reactions to Star Trek Discovery Season 2, we comment on that elevator scene. But so this could be anything. This is Trondle Star Galactic. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the hell this is. This could be any generic sci-fi thing. This says nothing. This doesn't say Star Trek to me. This says nothing. And seriously, is the ship like mostly empty? This looks like the city from Blade Runner inside the thing, right? It looks like everything else but Star Trek. And there are fucking spaceships flying around inside the spaceship. Discovery, learn how to Star Trek. Please, just Discovery, learn how to Star Trek and try again. Don't try again. Don't try again. Oh, Lord. Seriously. Now we have in the background here Saru's attempts to explain the lack of signals. That the signals lack the necessary technobabble, explaining it as a special distortion or signal from a black hole makes no sense, since those would propagate at the speed of light, right? Oh, God. And again, they're trying to make it funny because they have this other shit going around in the background. And that's kind of something that they did in the Orville, only they did it well. Why it worked in the Orville is because you're talking about Ed and Kelly's relationship, right? You're talking about Ed and Kelly dealing with Gerulio. He's back, and now Ed's kind of like falling under his chemical spell. And that's why it worked, because it was super awkward to be in the elevator every time with God, what the hell's his name? Mike Henry plays him. He's the big alien. I'm gonna forget his name. Dan is the alien's name. And it becomes a reoccurring gag, and it's funny. And this is why they keep cutting back and forth to this, because we kept cutting back and forth to that throughout the episode, but it wasn't a cutting back and forth thing. It was like a natural progression in each act. and that's why it was funny, because it was like 3 different instances where we kept running into Dan, and it was awkward, and he's like, hey, maybe we need elevator music to cut the tension. And then the final payoff was you had actually had the elevator music playing, because he went and took it upon himself after Ed and Kelly snapped at him, make that your project then, or why are you always in here? And that was why that worked, because it was 4 separate instances. Okay, if you actually watched the episode of The Orville you tried to rip off. This is just kind of dumb and cringy, because you keep cutting back and forth between this and then the other little stupid things that you're cutting away to in the ship, right? And your science is wrong too. And of course, yeah, so they're trying to get a fix on the position of the signal that they can't detect. This is probably why they wrote the most nonsensical stuff and tried to put it with the sneeze that people were going to pay attention to, right? So if you try and pay attention to the science and the writing here, it's wonderful writing for a middle schooler. So bravo on the bring your grandson to work day, Alex. If you wrote this, though, it's terrible. You know, can't we just have normal, like seriously, can't we just have like normal people on the ship too? Because you got the lady with the retainer. Why can't we just have people on the ship with like who look like aliens or people? You know, why do they always have to have headgear and you know, prosthetics and war damage and retainers and junk and just metal protrusions everywhere? Because they hate us. Because Discovery hates us. Normally I don't drink tea in the middle of a review, but man, we've been talking a while. This is a long one. Oh, and of course, seriously, the sneeze. Discovery. Really? Really? I just don't have words. It's so cringe. It's so cringe, and it's not funny. And that is not what was funny in the episode of The Orville. The thing that was funny in the episode of The Orville was that every time Ed and Kelly were in the elevator having a relationship discussion, Dan was there. And it happened 3 or 4 occasions. This is not funny. This is not funny. It's just not. And of course, did the writers just forget all the character development Tilly had in the first season also? It's like they found out she was one of the few characters in the show anyone liked and decided to make her as unlikable as everyone else out of spite. She does this stupid thing with the captain here where she's like, oh, I didn't want to say pinky to captain. You gotta move your pinky on the scanner. Ew, it's just so cringe. It's uncomfortable, it's cringe, and I don't like Tilly anymore. You're making me not like Tilly. And she was the only good person on the ship. She was the only person on the ship that was a person. All right. So these signals are supposed to be spread across 30,000 light years, right? All these little red dots that they're looking at in this picture. But the image here shows some on the opposite side of the galactic disk, which is 100,000 light years across. I took notes. We did research here. In this case, a case of the visual effects guys not knowing their science, or is it Alex Kurtzman not knowing his science? Or both, or, you know, because sometimes they just want these visual effects out there and they have no idea. They're like, oh yeah, put it in the Milky Way and put a bunch of red dots around. He was probably really vague. Whatever. It's just bad science, right? It's just really, really bad science. So this little dot, 10,000 light years outside the galactic disk, is the only one we can detect, right? At a maximum warp, we can get there, in about 19 and a half years at warp 8. It's okay, though. Discovery travels at the speed of plot, which is apparently warp 5. It's so dumb. Like, the science behind some of these are just... They're so many things just make you stop dead in your tracks, right? All right. You guys you always complain. There's always somebody in the comments that says, you never say anything nice. You never say when they get it right. This I liked. Now, I don't like the technology. It seems like he's just replaying a memory in his mind or something, so only he sees it, but it kind of seems like it's like a holodeck or something. It's nice. it's sweet, you know. It's Stamets replaying the memory of Dr. Culber and this log here, and they're talking about this opera thing, and because of all the stuff Stamets has gone through, he has a much deeper appreciation for some of the things that his boyfriend liked, his partner. And that's actually really good stuff. Whoever wrote this little part is good with these characters. I want to see more of stuff like that. We don't want these stupid action sequences. We don't want these stupid, nonsensical, super complicated plots that don't make sense. You know, you can give us relationship stuff when it's interesting and good. And you could have had something really good here. But no, we had like 20 minutes of, you know, butt fucking an asteroid. Oh, we haven't gotten there yet. We really, there's a lot to this episode. There's a nice little moment of insubordination between Michael Burnham and Lorca, and God, I was calling Lorca Pike. There's all kinds of, I'm missing probably a lot of it too. There's so much bad. There's just so much bad in this episode. All right, so here we find out that Stamets wants to leave the ship, and he's put in his transfer request already, as he's constantly reminded of Dr. Culber, and that's sad. That is something you would see, you know, with people. And that's what we need. We need more people moments. We need more stuff like this that actually mattered. And even though Dr. Culber's death was the stupidest death possible, this is kind of good. This is actually all right. Of course, it's one of the few decently written scenes outside of that whole I'm going to teach on Vulcan silliness, though. I mean, I don't think they're going to let him. He wants to go to Vulcan and become a teacher, right? I really don't think that they're going to let him become a teacher on Vulcan. He's a human. Vulcans are a little bit racist. Just put it bluntly. They don't like humans. I don't think he would want to go. I don't think they would let him teach on Vulcan, but whatever. That's what they're going for, so sure, there's worse things to go through in this. Oh my God, it's yeah, there's we're about halfway through. Oh no. We're about halfway through. Like I said, there's a lot bad with this episode. Take a shot every time I sigh. Don't do that. Michael Burnham and Sarek have this moment where she asks, what did you want me to teach Spock that time ago? He says empathy. Empathy. Now, you're half human, half Vulcan son. You want to learn not from his human mother the emotion of empathy. You want to learn from this little girl who has no emotion, no feeling, is smug, conceited, full of herself, kind of nasty, and a bit of a bitch. And we've seen the flashbacks of the little girl. She was kind of a bitch. You want her to teach him empathy. We did get a really great scene that I didn't know quite how to set up for you guys. Spock slams the door in Michael Burnham's face the second he meets her, and it's kind of hilarious in a flashback. I laughed uncontrollably as we saw this live. Please go check out my whole entire live reaction if you want that. It's kind of hilarious. And then here we go. This is kind of where I wanted to stop. There's something about your relationship. I swear, if it turns out that Spock and this plank of wood bumped uglies at some point, I'm gonna probably stop talking about Discovery. It's gonna break my heart. I'm gonna probably puke. It's not gonna be pleasant. They're kind of implying that that Spock and Mikey Spock did it. My prediction is that they probably had to, he was probably going through his first Pomfar. He probably accidentally imprinted on her in some way. And they probably never speak of it again. She probably helped him out in that situation. And yeah, that's probably this, I don't even have anything funny to say about that. It's just, they want it to be Game of Thrones in space. They want it to be controversial. They want it to be so cleverly written. And if they do that, then I know they're just desperate. They will have just jumped the shark so many times over. It's bad. It's bad. So this is one good thing also. This is another good thing. It seems like they're listening to us. Captain Pike says, "Bridge crew, give me a roll call." You know, because nobody watching this show has any idea what any of your names are. You know, it's a pretty sloppy way of introducing the bridge crew, but it's kind of fine, you know? There's also even a funny line here. He says, "Detmer, fly good." It's a really great delivery by Anson Mount. I really am kind of enjoying him as Pike, despite the fact that he's not given any good anything. He got a couple of good lines, though. So I'm kind of enjoying him as Pike. He's not Pike, but as like a facsimile of, I suppose. It's one of the few genuinely amusing parts of the show. Not like the unintentionally funny, you know, Michael Burnham getting the door slammed in her face by Spock. That was kind of hilarious. Oh, Lord. So now, where have I seen this before? Right? This is, this is the JJ Trek movie. Kurtzman realized that warp isn't hyperspace and that the ship could detect an asteroid field from a long, long way away, right? So they come out of hyperspace, because he doesn't know the difference between warp and hyperspace, and they've got this giant asteroid field, and it looks terrible. It looks like just a bunch of crap flying all over your screen. It's just nasty. So they're next to a giant interstellar asteroid, despite the fact it's in a star system, and the rock is somehow generating more gravity than it should. Pike wants to know down there, and Burnham suggests using cameras designed for looking at hull damage. Why would that even be a thing? And what they show is what should be called planetary sensors, right? Also, why did they just flash like a digital camera? Why do they have a flash on them? Why do you have a flash on your cameras? Oh, that's so stupid. So they're practically on top of the thing, and their planetary sensors can't see anything, I guess. They should be able to read the date on a dime from 1,000 kilometers away. They can't. They're just so, I don't know, they're so stupid in this episode. So when they close in, for some reason, it gives off a repulsion effect that pushes Discovery away like two repelling magnets. Now the asteroid is huge and the ship is tiny, so realistically it'd be like 1,000-pound magnet pushing a 1-pound magnet. But Kurtzman really doesn't understand physics, so, you know, naturally the asteroid is pushed away just as hard. Because Kurtzman physics, Kurtzman math, yay! That's the power of math, people! To bring back Tilly's line. I should have been Tilly. Fuck. Why not? Why can't I have the job? Oh, because I didn't audition. That's why. That's probably why. You need to audition. Oh, it's on a collision course with a pulsar. So, toward a pulsar, because why not? At this point, Mikey Spock notices a Starfleet ship on the surface of the asteroid, too. Oh, God. Can you make out a registry number, they're asking. So they can't zoom in the cameras any further for more detail, but Mikey Spock asks Saru to use his special eyes to somehow see the photo better. Do Kelpians have better vision? Is that a thing? I mean, they were a prey species. I don't know if they would. You know, especially when their predators just beam them away because they willingly went like lambs to the slaughter. So this is a special kind of stupid here. If the images are detailed enough for Saru's eyes to make out the registry, then the computer should be able to enlarge that area anyway. At the very least, someone should just walk closer to get the viewer to see it. I don't. It's so stupid. I don't know why it's so stupid. Why is this show so stupid? Yes, I have one. Yes, a bad attitude. Yeah, you do. So Pike wants to look for survivors, but they can't beam the ship and the gravity. Oh, this is the insubordinate thing. I keep confusing where it is. But they can't beam the ship and the gravity would wreck their shuttles, so he's looking for solutions from the bridge crew. Mikey Spock lets him know she has one, but not before she smugly dresses down the captain in front of everyone. Pike lets her get away with it because the writer said so. Now, there's even a line where he kind of snaps at her, and I wish he would have just kind of stuck to his guns. Because she snaps back, right? And he's like, yes, before, I want to know what your solution is before, I want you to have a solution before you tell me there is one or something. He really snaps at her, and she's like, well, yes, I was gonna do that if you listened to me, bitch. And like, seriously, he should have just, she didn't say it in so many words, but she might as well have, because in the military, you kind of have to be super respectful. That sort of line would have been started with something like, permission to speak freely. Something like that, because that was a little too snotty. And, he probably would have said, okay, great, I'm going to do the solution. You're relieved of duty. Go to your quarters. Something like that, like a captain would. I really wish he would have done that. I wish he would have put her in her place. She is such a bitch. I hate this character so much. And the writers just let it happen. The writers just make her worse. Like, you can't do that. The militaries, watch a military show. Watch Stargate. It's a great military show. So, and of course the solution is plot convenience. I mean, special landing pods they had for a single mission, and lucky they're still holding on to for some reason. Also, go Power Rangers, I guess. Like seriously, looks like they're getting ready to get into their Zords. You even have, like, the Gold Ranger, the Red Ranger, the Blue Ranger, the White Ranger. Seriously, why are we ripping off Power Rangers now? And I'm not even a Power Rangers watcher, and I know what that is. So, okay, the pods shoot down these ludicrously complex and impossibly long tunnels like Viper wannabes from Battlestar Galactica. It's like they took this shot and decided, we want to do this shot where we have these tubes launching out for a really long time. Now, I do want to point out that they started in the shuttle bay, launched, and went down the tubes for, I kid you not, 14 seconds. I counted this, 14 seconds long for the shot of them flying out of the thing, right? Before coming out the back of the ship. Now I'm not an expert, but there can't be more than 30 meters from their launch point to the back of the ship because of how you see the shuttle bay is laid out. How you see everything is laid out in here. The launch tubes, rather. But the launch tubes were hundreds of meters long all of a sudden. This is either really, really a bad visual effects team or Kurtzman really not being able to direct and not being able to know anything about, okay, if you have a tiny little area and you're shooting out of the thing, it's going to take like a second. You don't get these long shots. Like, you have to have some believable spatial distance and time, because people pick up on that. And even on a subconscious level, they pick up on that and they say, oh, that's stupid. That doesn't work. That doesn't happen. Oh, boy. And that's one of the problems. So it's either just bad physics, bad visual effects, bad writing, bad directing, or all of the above. I think it's all of the above. Oh, now next up is boring space action movie shit, and they're just like flying through asteroids, whatever. So this guy, I can't remember his name. He's Pike's science officer that he comes over with from the Enterprise, the Discovery Enterprise anyway. And he's actually smarting off to Michael Burnham, and she kind of deserves it. I really wish she would have just got her smug ass and shut the hell up. And he's even saying, don't question my calculations. But there's a point where Burnham is trying to tell the science officer guy how to fly his ship. But his opinion of her has been pretty negative since the whole smile incident in the beginning, or in the earlier. So he's like, screw you, your overrated plank of wood, right? Like anybody would, or any rational, smart, intelligent person would. And of course he promptly blows up because script says so, right? He would have listened to her if she hadn't been such a smug bitch to him earlier, right? But holy shit, Michael Burnham, your attitude just got some guy killed, right? He wasn't listening to you because you're so smug and horrible and unlikable, and your attitude killed a man. That is not Star Trek. Your attitude is literally killing people, you smug bitch. Because, yeah, he would have listened to her, and he wouldn't have been so trying to out or one up her or show her up had she not been so goddamn unlikable. So they make it to this asteroid and begin looking for survivors. They run into these levitating drones made from scavenged Starfleet tech and powered by lens flare chubbies, apparently. Again, like, so many lens flares. What the hell are we even looking at? These are little flying robots, right? It leads them back to Commander Jet Reno. That sounds like a Saturday morning cartoon name. It's so made up. It's made up to sell like a little action figure to the 7-year-old on Saturday morning. Jet Reno should be out there like fighting with Johnny Quest or G.I. Joe or something. Oh my God. And of course, she's such an awesome engineer that she can do medicine. You know, she can do brain surgery on a Tellarite. She can heal people up. And yeah, it makes no sense. So she is super lesbian also, because diversity, right? We need representation, and of course, to have positive representation, you need them to be the most amazing, bestest things ever. They're engineers who can do brain surgery because they're on a ship where they happen to be around doctors, and oh well, I'm an engineer, that's just on machines, not people. It's so stupid. It's just... It's dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb. The plan is to use the Hiawatha's transporter. The Hiawatha is the name of this medical frigate that they found in this asteroid or something. And it's to use their transporter to do pad-to-pad transport of the survivors. Pike asks the commander about the signal, but she doesn't appear to know what he's talking about, right? Do you know anything about the signal? I don't know. Alright, meanwhile, back in space, a big rock is headed straight for the Discovery. Oh no, shock, who cares? It shields her down because they're preparing to transport and they can't get out of the way, so we get a fancy Hollywood-style impact dead center in front of the saucer. Just right down the middle, right? And we saw this in the trailer. And I'm like, cool, they're going to destroy the Discovery. We know they won't because it survives now 1,000,000 years into the future, 1,000 years because of Calypso, thanks a lot. We can't even root for the ship to get destroyed. And of course, now either Kurtzman doesn't know what Starboard is on the ship or the visual effects team doesn't. One or the other. Either way, this line is very, very wrong. But, you know, hey, at least she got a line, right? She got a line. Yay! Emily Coates got a line. Let's give it to her. Give her a round of applause. She's actually kind of awesome. She's been really pretty friendly on Twitter to a lot of us in the community here. So... we're rooting for you, Emily Coates. We want Kayla to have some lines and be better than Michael Burnham. Back on the asteroid. Oh, God. The first wave of patients is transported, and I don't even care about these people. I don't care. When the system goes on the fritz, Mikey Spock's run over to conduits and, I kid you not, pretends to be fixing them. Like, that's what they show on screen. They're these, like, they're wires, right? So, let me do a thing, right? So you've got a wire like this. She goes up to it, and she just grabs it. She just grabs them. And then she grabs the next one. She like, grabs them twice and doesn't really do anything. She's just grabbing them. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Like... that's all I can say about it. It's just so stupid. Apparently that's enough to beam out Pike and the survivors, though, and Burnham is blown back by the explosion is left behind. But, you know, she's okay. She's Michael Burnham. Who cares? And, of course, she makes a run for it, dashing through some warehouse, I guess. I guess the medical frigate was transporting, you know, the set of Space Mutiny, the giant warehouse in space. Probably a sewage treatment plant up somewhere in Canada. They filmed this in Toronto, so it's not the Vancouver one that all the other places film in. You know, dodging CGI beams and CGI fire, and this is actually some of the worst CGI I've seen is the CGI Michael Burnham butt here. Not very good. And eventually the CGI catches up to Burnham and she's knocked out and wounded, and when she comes to, she sees the mysterious red angel-like being. And just then, Pike rushes over, dispersing the vision, and they both beam away. So question. If they could be Pike to her, why couldn't they just have beamed her to the ship? I mean, they know where... seriously. They didn't beam him that far away. Anyway, they as they're beaming Mikey Spock out, She tries to grab a rock sample, however the transporters can't lock onto it, and Burnham and Tilly think it means it's some sort of super material, so they hatch a plan to get some on the ship without the transporters. This plan, though, does not involve phasers to cut the asteroid fragments and a tractor beam to tow it on board. No, that would, make sense. Instead, it involves using a technology apparently belonging to the Time Lords, because it's based on an ability to expand from absolutely nothing, right? To hold a full-size rock in the shuttle bay after pointing their ass at it and trying to invite it into the most inefficient manner and obscene manner possible. They're basically trying to present to have the asteroid butt fuck it. I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking here. Because action and drama, they have these scenes and they don't have any actual reason for them. They have the visual effects scenes and then that action stuff planned out over anything else, and it's clear. Also, yes, this is the power of math, people. Yay. Yay us. They successfully capture the rock, but, they trash the shuttle bay in the process. And, of course, Tilly gets her lamest line ever. This is why I said it. Because, the power of math. Just kill me. It's so cringe. They're making her cringe. They're making her so cringy. And she used to be likable and cute, and now they're making her stupid. Stop making her stupid. We want good Tilly. We want something good on the show. Oh, Lord. So Pike changes out of his gold uniform into the butt-ugly Discovery one and tells Burnham he's staying on for the rest of the mission. They're back at the Disco Prize, which apparently is being towed back to space dock at sublight speed, and Burnham wants to meet Spock, but apparently Spock's gone missing. Oh, Lord. So Burnham ends up going into his quarters on the Enterprise and finds a log entry, and this doesn't even look like his quarters on the Enterprise. Finds a log entry that explains he had nightmarish visions as a child, and they've returned. And she decodes secret scribble messages to find the map showing the location of the signals. And with that, we bring the episode to a merciful close. So, there are so many bad things in this episode. I mean, I didn't even get screenshots of half of it. There's just way too much to nitpick and go over and go. I can't even get it off my screen. It's bad. They even have the most insulting thing in the opening. They do the dun dun dun. You get the Star Trek music, and then Michael fucking Burnham starts with the space, the final frontier. No, you don't. You do not have the right to start the episode that way. And I left that out because I wanted that to be special, a special rant. But man, I might have to do a whole video just on the intro alone, because that was just such a horrendous insult to Star Trek fans to have that. She has no right saying that. She's not a captain. She's not the captain of anything. She's nothing. She does not deserve that title or that honor. Oh. And then we have Spock. Fake Spock. He doesn't even look like Spock. He doesn't act like Spock. We didn't even see him. We just saw him as a little kid. Sarek trying to teach, wanting Michael to teach him empathy. She can't empathize. She's a sociopath. She can't empathize with anyone. Oh my God, this is, I don't have words for how bad this is. I could have some clever joke, some sort of, it's not even clever. It's not even good. It's not even so bad it's fun to watch anymore. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. Tell me what you guys think. Did you watch this episode? Did you see the episode? What did I miss? What else was bad about it? What else was good about it? What did I miss? What did you like about it? What did you hate about it? Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. I am Mecha Random42. I will be moving into the new place tomorrow, actually. Well, as of today, when this episode pops up on YouTube for you guys. So you might see like a little slight reduction in videos temporarily. But man, I will see you guys on the next video or live stream. This was a bad one. Bye! Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!